It's Brandon with another deep drive with a little bit of a different format here. I am trying to show you what I'm seeing as I drive and talking at the same time for the personal touch. What are we talking about today? Today is Shout Out Day. I just realized that, first of all, this format that I'm using was inspired by Stefan Schutz, sound librarian, sound designer extraordinaire, and he has been a good friend and colleague of mine for many years. And he has a series called The Beautiful Curse. It is on LinkedIn. I'm sure if you do a search for Stefan Schutz or sound librarian Beautiful Curse, you will see you will find these videos, and they're out on YouTube as well under the Sound Librarian channel. And he essentially takes drives in Australia and talks about different subjects, and they're fairly personal, involving industry-based things, mental health, just dealing with the world we live in. And I think that in this day and age, I think a lot of us are inclined to be thinking a lot about the world that we live in, because things are not exactly hunky-dory. So shout out to Stefan first, and then in addition to that, David Ortega and Zhaoan Li of Li and Ortega. Did I say Mark Kilborn as well? No, Mark Kilborn. So we between Stefan, Mark, David, and myself, we have like in Battlestar Galactica, this ragtag band of, not so ragtag really. At the risk of sounding egotistical, we're something of a super group. We all bring something to the table for game audio and audio in general, for entertainment, that is unique. The way that we formed it is that my superpower is voiceover, although I have contributed to sound design. We've got David and Zhaoan as our key composers, Mark Kilborn as the super sound design specialist, and Stefan Schutz as not only sound design but technology and implementation. He's got some amazing things in the works right now. Both Mark and Stefan have content, I believe, in Pro Sound Effects libraries, and Stefan's been doing sound libraries for ages. So this is quite an awesome team, and it's an honor to be a part of that. That's what's going on right now, but in the shout-out world, we are approaching the neighborhood of Mr. Dave Govett, who did most of the music for Wing Commander. He works at Austin Community College right now, and he's going to be the next in a series of podcasts called Legends. So, shout out to Dave Govett. Shout out to the head of Team Fat, who Dave Govett was a part of, George Sanger. Ages ago, when GDC was young and called CGDC, at the Westin in Santa Clara, my first year was 97 or so. God, it's well over 20 years at this point. There weren't that many game audio people. There was a group that consisted of, I think, Mike Kent, Mike Demore. Mike Demore was representing Yamaha, Mike Kent represented Roland, and let's see, you had George Sanger. I don't know if he was there that first year, but probably Tommy Tallarico. There was another guy that always wore a dad shirt, like best dad ever type shirt. Donald something, maybe? I feel bad for not remembering the name, but then people started to creep in, like Marty O'Donnell, Scott Gershon, but that was later on. At first, not that many people. So if you were in game audio and you went to the Creative Labs booth, chances are you could walk away with a free sound card. That's how cool things were back then. So anyway, shout out to George Sanger, one of the original game audio legends. Had a studio very close by in Austin, Texas, on Green Lawn, Flabby Road. Let's see, who else? David Havalosa was one of the early game audio people. He ran the Sega Sound department. I think that was in Santa Monica. I can't remember exactly. They built a really one of the first big budget studios in gaming period in California, to the best of my knowledge. This was long before the Sony studios that were designed by Chris Polonis, which I'm pretty sure are still active. They should be. Those rooms should last quite a long time. Very, very well designed. Great sounding rooms, great Foley pit. Let's see who else to shout out. One of the first women in game audio that I can remember is Michelle Sorger. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Shout out to Michelle. I'm going to be doing a gender relations talk with Bonnie Bogovich at the upcoming Game Sound Con on November 10th. So save the date for that one. I'm going to be talking about Wasteland 3 music and gender relations in the game audio industry with Bonnie Bogovich. We're lining up a super awesome panel and talking about, just like I said, when I first started, I don't remember seeing any women at all at that first game audio conference or at the first game developer conference in game audio. Yeah. Things have changed. Things are continuing to change. But our industry, to be honest with you, has a lot of similarities to other industries, but that's going to be part of the discussion points. And I'm not the person to be talking about that anyway. Let's see, any other shout-outs that I can think of right now? We got David Havalosa, Mike Demore, Mike Kent. We got Dave Chan. Dave Chan was at BioWare for quite some time. He's now at QI Software. You could always see him at a GDC hanging out. Shout out Dave Chan. Let's see. Boy, my memory's failing me in terms of just who I can shout out here. From old school, not just people that I'm working with right now. There's tons of people that I could shout out for now, but the idea was to shout out people that I started with back in the mid to late 90s. So if I can think of any more, I'll put them here. But for now, this is Alex Brandon with another Deep Dive, signing off.